today we wanted to test trading the dip, contrarian back testing. We don't always use price signals for short premium trading. More of the time we use volatility signals, but obviously for 0 days, right, you might use price signals more, depending on your style of trading as well. God put this piece together. So if you want to follow him on Twitter, he's Godlytics on X. Got to stop saying that. But he put this piece together and had some very interesting results. So basically, we're going to test like if the market is down some amount and you open up a trade, does that outperform or underperform just kind of trading every day? And we specifically wanted to test like kind of the contrarian assumption. And this is, I would say, a short-term contrarian. So market's down red 1 day between 0 to 0.5%, 0.5 to 1%. 1 to 2% or more than 2%, you go open a 30 delta, 15 delta put spread 45 days out. And then we're going to hold that to expiration just to kind of like, capture the tails. We're taking management out of it because people manage things so differently. We're going to say that if market's down and you decide to be a contrarian, put on a put spread, short put spread, does that tend to perform better or worse at these different dip thresholds, I guess you could say. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So that was funny timing. So we can go on to the next slide, kind of look at the results. And my guess is like you could probably have some intuition on this already, just from short premium trading, a whole bunch. But what we can actually see is that when we're trading the put spreads, just like on any given day, these tend to kind of like average to be relatively profitable long term, which makes sense because we've had, especially over the last 20 something years, very strong bear market, especially the last 10. And then what we can see is that when you're kind of trading the noise, so markets down between 0 and 0.5%, which happens a lot, when you're kind of trading the noise or trading a little bit more than noise, 0.5% to 1%, that actually tends to, if just trading that, underperform kind of trading every day. And we start to see more of an increase in profitability on average when we're trading now the 1 to 2% down days or even higher, the 2% down days. And what we saw as well, when we looked at all these different thresholds, the pops were pretty much the same between 82 and 90%. Or 82 and 89%. So pop stayed about the same. So this increase in performance was not from the trades being profitable more often, as you guys already know, it's from increases in premium, increases in volatility, all that jazz. Yeah. Makes sense.
I think it's interesting that the down 0 to 0.5% underperforms. Like if you get rid of the bullish days where they just stay bullish, I think that is interesting when you consider it that way.
Yeah. Which I was a little bit surprised by that it actually underperformed just kind of like trading every day. So trading those very moderate down days, we're calling that kind of noise. And that's between like 0 to 0.5% down, and then as well from 0.5 to 1% down. So broadening those horizons. And then if we go to the next slide, and now we're just looking at ROI. Oh, we can go to the CVaR slide too. This one's fine. So when we look at extreme risk instead, this one was actually a very interesting result because as the market becomes more volatile, as you have these big down days, right? Like you have more volatility, so your losses can be larger, but your premiums are also significantly larger, right? So what you actually saw when you looked at CVaR as a dollar value is that the dollar value of CVaR, your kind of extreme risk or your extreme losses, I should say, didn't actually increase. Which I found very interesting. And that again kind of goes to show you like when premiums increase, how much more compensation there is. And that tail risk, like once volatility is already, increased, kind of normalizes out regardless of where SPY kind of lands on the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I remember a piece many years ago, but it was about buying power risk. So like how often your loss exceeds your buying power requirement. And when you did it for equities, the percentage was significantly higher than when you did it for SPY or SPX because these markets just don't move as much. So I think this speaks to that exactly.
Exactly. And now this is where the piece to me got very interesting to kind of look at it because so we're kind of testing like this very short-term contrarian approach. Market's down 1%, 2%. Or more, right? And now you're, trading put spreads, you're taking a directional contrarian assumption. And so we're seeing this contrarian approach, right, giving you better results as the market's down more and more, trading the put spreads give you richer and richer results. But that's not really from the directional assumption being more correct, as you guys might expect. It's not from the directional assumption being more correct when the market is down. If you look 45 days out after SPY is down 2% or more, the probability of a rebound, it's not any more performant, I guess, or any more likely compared to any given 45-day period in the S&P. So, right, we're not looking at markets down 10, 20, 30%. We're looking at very short-term movements in the S&P and trading those. What you kind of see is like it's more from the premium increasing and more from the volatility increasing rather than the directional assumption being more correct. And we know that the market just generally tends to drift upward. So, like with this case, it kind of makes sense. But what I found interesting in this is that like just from your CVaRs being relatively constant, just from your pops being relatively the same and your premiums increasing, it's more from the volatility rather than the directional assumption being more correct when we're looking at these very short-term scales. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So that was my fun little contrarian piece. So what we found kind of interesting when you're trading kind of the noise, so markets down less than 1%, actually tends to underperform just kind of trading on any given day. Large dips tend to outperform. But this is primarily due to increases in volatility and premium prices rather than the contrarian directional assumption being directionally correct, noting that we're looking at very short-term price movements in the S&P. This is down 2% in a day, not 20% in a month, right? So when we're looking for higher than average performance, that sweet spot is really between like 1% and 2%. The S&P being down, just because those occurrences tend to happen a lot more often. And that tends to be a high enough move or a large enough move to the downside to drive volatility up enough to provide that extra compensation. So that tends to deliver the richer returns while also occurring often enough to be something that can be systematically implemented. So yeah.
Serendipitous day for that.
Serendipitous.
Quite literally.
Serendipitous, was that a pun?
Serendip it is.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah. I didn't even mean to do that.
It.
Love it. Thank you so much, Julia. Appreciate you.
Thanks,
and
guys.
yeah,